Now at 5, local expert advice for 4-staters looking for student loan relief.
The Director of National Intelligence plans an investigation into whether former President Trump's handling of classified documents may have put national security at risk. I'm Natalie Brandon, Washington, with the growing fallout following the search at Mar-a-Lago.
And the danger small button batteries can pose for kids.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thunderstorms bring some much needed rain to the 4 states. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Let's go straight to Doug Eddy for our first look at the weather.
Yeah, we got scattered thunderstorms yesterday morning, and then we've had more pop up during the afternoon into the evening hours. Fairly widespread across the region, which is something we need to put a dent into the drought. But you can see where we had the heaviest rain north of I-44 earlier. Now it's mainly along and south of Interstate 44. We're not seeing much in the way of severe weather, but we do have some stronger storms which have been embedded into this little cluster of showers and thunderstorms. But you can see the heaviest through parts of Newton County, McDonald County, and then down into Delaware County. And that's where it's going to be as we go through the next few hours. I think after about 8 or 9 p.m. things really calm down. Our temperatures, they'll start to drop back through the 70s. But more rain in the forecast. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Missouri Southern's beginning its second week of the school year, and since President Biden announced the student debt relief plan last week, the school says it's getting inquiries from students trying to find how they can benefit from it.
Well, it certainly gives our students an opportunity to reduce the amount of debt that they have, maybe accumulated this far, or even former students that are struggling with how they're going to make repayment in the long term in their life. So it's an opportunity for us to help make sure they know that this is a possibility. And
for more information on the student debt relief plan, just go to our website, koamnewsnow.com. After 2 years of being closed, Nevada's Senior Behavioral Health Center has reopened. Nevada is one of a few senior psychiatric centers in the state of Missouri. The center says with 8 new beds and cameras, they're ready to keep safety the #1 priority. They specialize in patients age 55 and older.
It's a tempo of care that I personally enjoy, and I know other staff here does as well, but just being able to provide psychiatric care for that population has always been something that I've believed in. There's a need for, and so we're trying to extend that care for those patients.
The center will start taking patients on September 1st. We're learning more about the documents federal agents seized in the August 8th search of former President Trump's Florida residence. A federal judge has indicated that she's open to appointing a neutral party to examine those materials, with a hearing scheduled for this Thursday. Meanwhile, the White House says it's not involved in a planned intelligence community assessment into the handling of those materials by the former president. Natalie Brand has more from Capitol Hill.
The U.S. Justice Department faces a new deadline this week to provide more information about what documents were seized from former President Donald Trump's Florida residence. In a new court filing Monday, the DOJ said a team review identified a limited set of materials that potentially contain attorney-client privileged information and is going through normal procedures to address privilege disputes. Federal Judge Eileen Cannon in Florida has signaled she may appoint a special master or independent party to review the documents, though she's not yet made a final decision. Friday's release of the heavily redacted affidavit behind the search reveals of the 15 boxes returned to the National Archives in January, 67 documents were marked confidential, 92 marked secret, and another 25 marked top secret. The affidavit also indicated that some of the documents may have contained information from CIA spies or informants.
This is the most sensitive material of the United States intelligence community.
In response to requests from U.S. lawmakers, the Director of National Intelligence says her office plans to conduct a review to determine whether the former president's handling of classified material put national security at risk.
I did nothing wrong. They brought many FBI agents in, all right before the midterms.
The former president has come out swinging against the FBI search, and so have some of his most ardent supporters.
If there's a prosecution of Donald Trump for mishandling classified information after the Clinton debacle, there'll be riots in the streets.
Former Obama and George W. Bush White House officials have criticized Graham's comments as, quote, dangerous and inciting January 6th all over again. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says the White House is not involved in the intelligence community's assessment into the handling of the seized documents, adding it is an appropriate action for the director to undertake. NASA scrubbed today's scheduled launch of its new Artemis moon rocket, pointing to engine issues. Leaks during fueling caused headaches for crews overnight. Officials say one fuel seepage is coming from the same spot that had problems during a dress rehearsal a few months ago. The other leak is from a valve engineers thought they'd fixed. The next launch window opens on Friday. The rocket is NASA's most powerful and was set to put an unmanned crew capsule into orbit around the moon. Still ahead, the switch from the pumps to the plugs.
More Americans are looking to ditch their gas guzzlers, plug in, and save up. I'm Chris Van Cleve. We take a look at the growing interest in electric vehicles coming up.
But first, the danger tiny batteries can pose to kids. That's next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, getting paid sick leave could be linked to a longer life. That's the finding of researchers at Syracuse University. Their study shows laws requiring employers to provide paid sick leave reduce deaths from suicide and homicide among working-age men and homicide and alcohol-related causes among women. The U.S. is one of only a few developed countries with no national paid sick leave policy. New research shows patients with an autoimmune disorder have a substantially higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease compared to those without the disorder. Belgian researchers say the risk is anywhere between 1.4 and 3.6 times higher, depending on the autoimmune condition, and comparable to the risk for patients with type 2 diabetes. Around 10% of the population in high-income countries like the U.S. have been diagnosed with one or multiple autoimmune disorders. Small button batteries are found in a lot of household items, from remotes to toys to key fobs. But many parents are unaware they pose a serious danger to children. New research shows they're injuring even more kids. Reporter Trinity Chavez introduces us to a mother who lost her daughter and is now advocating for change to keep other children safe.
Trista Hamsmith says losing her 18-month-old daughter a year and a half ago is a forever healing process.
It's just learning to navigate, our new normal, because it's not just me that has taken on this advocacy, it's the family as a whole.
Their advocating is to prevent other families from heartbreak. Originally, doctors thought Reese had croup.
It was the following day we realized there was a button battery missing from a remote in our home. We rushed to the hospital, and within 30 minutes, they confirmed that she had in fact swallowed that battery.
Reese spent weeks in the hospital, had surgeries, and went into cardiac arrest 3 times.
Ultimately, this time we didn't get her back.
New research in the journal Pediatrics shows battery-related ER visits more than doubled from 2010 to 2019 compared to previous years.
The vast majority of these children were under the age of 6, and button batteries were the type of battery that was most frequently involved.
Button batteries can burn through a child's esophagus in as little as 2 hours, and the injury can progress even after removed. Mark Chandler is with Safe Kids Worldwide.
Keep button batteries and any devices that they power up and out of reach of children. Make sure that the battery compartment is secure.
Trista created Reese's Purpose to educate families. President Biden signed Reese's Law earlier this month, which establishes safety standards, including requiring child-resistant packaging and warning labels on products.
Knowing that 10 years down the road, we're not going to be hearing about these ingestions from a product, because we did move forward. There's a little bit of comfort.
And she hopes sharing her story can save the lives of other children. Trinity Chavez, CBS News.
According to Safe Kids, every year more than 2,800 kids are treated in emergency rooms after swallowing button batteries. A new study finds more than 40% of teens can't tell the difference between true and fake health messages online, and less than half trusted accurate health messages more than fake messages. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the growing popularity of electric vehicles and the response of automakers.
Plus, more thunderstorms sticking around through the evening hours. We're going to look at that coming up.
Topping today's Consumer Watch, welcome relief for area drivers as gas prices continue to drop around the 4 states and the nation. The national average for a gallon of regular fell below $4 early this month, and it's been falling ever since. In Jasper County, the average is just $3.26 per gallon. According to AAA, the average for all of Missouri is now $3.45. In Oklahoma, it's $3.46, and in Kansas, it's $3.53. A new survey from the Department of Energy says a number of factors, including the war in Ukraine, are causing fuel supplies to be lower than normal across the U.S. The agency says the situation is most noticeable in the Northeast, where diesel and heating oil inventories are more than 50% below the recent average. That's raising concerns a severe weather event could cause supply disruptions. More Americans are eyeing electric vehicles for their next car purchase. A recent AAA survey shows months of high gas prices are helping lead the charge, and West Coast states are moving to phase out gas-powered vehicles. A lot of automakers are along for the ride, offering Americans more of what they like to drive. Chris Van Cleve reports.
It really is a lot of fun. See, I can't stop smiling.
Maryland resident Thomas Gillespie was so excited to get his new Rivian electric truck, he picked it up at the Illinois factory himself.
They were like, Mr. Gillespie, your truck's out front, and I went bounding out the front doors like an overexcited 12-year-old.
Gillespie says he'd been wanting to go electric, and now his wallet is reaping the benefits.
I figured it out at the end of the day. It cost me $1.19 in electricity to do all of my daily driving. My old truck, it probably would have been, at least 4 gallons of gas. So what is that, $25, $26, $27?
A recent survey from AAA found 1/4 of Americans say they would be likely to buy an electric vehicle as their next auto purchase, in part to save on fuel costs. And consumers now have more choices than ever.
What we see now is that they're actually building things that people want, like crossovers and pickup trucks.
Chevrolet just introduced its all-electric Blazer with plans for more EV models next year.
The intention and where we're pricing this product is to certainly make it more available for more mainstream buyers.
While all these new options are appealing, many Americans are hesitant to take their foot off the gas entirely.
The hesitation comes really in 2 main forms. One is around range anxiety. The other one comes at worrying about the long-term reliability and costs of owning an EV.
General Motors launched an interactive website to help educate consumers about electric vehicles.
This sucker's quick.
And President Biden's infrastructure law includes $7.5 billion to build out a nationwide EV charging network. Gillespie says his own learning curve was quick.
It really isn't the lifestyle change that people think it's going to be. It's just not.
He's on the road, charged up, and not looking back. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Ashburn, Virginia.
The Inflation Reduction Act, which was recently signed into law, includes tax credits for Americans who buy electric vehicles, as well as for the manufacturers who make them. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the latest on 3 potential tropical storm systems ahead of the holiday weekend. Then on KOAM News at 6, police arrest a Southwest Missouri woman suspected of assaulting a man with a knife. Plus, the challenge for police when a homeless camp springs up along a Southwest Missouri highway. And a local expert gives advice for people hoping to take advantage of this student loan relief plan. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Hey, look what happened during a wild pitch at the Little League World Series in Pennsylvania. The batter didn't get a hit, but boy, the camera sure did. The ball bounces, then smashes a video camera. Let's look at it again from another angle. Just boom, boom, and then, yeah, right into the lens. The pitcher from the Hawaii team threw the pitch, resulting in a run for Caraco. Still, Hawaii did go on to win the Little League Championship, so the team is just fine, but boom. The camera, yeah, not so much. I'm a little surprised they didn't have some plexiglass barrier or something there. You would think this would happen quite a lot.
Yeah, you'd think the chances would be decently good.
Yeah, wild pitches or, foul tips, something like
that.
Right. The chances for rain across the 4 states today were decently good.
Yeah, they're going to stick around in our southern counties over the next couple hours, and then everybody will start to Dry out just a little bit. We could get a random isolated pop-up shower tomorrow morning, but really the next couple days are shaping up pretty nice. Rain chances back in as we head toward the holiday weekend.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.